just vile.
Why would a girl like her talk so roughly? It all began on a small island where 4 high school girls, who didn't know each other, ended up after a shipwreck. The other 3 are either top students or rich girls. The special students are either top students or rich craze. The introduction was just a last name, and that was it. The calmness left others unsure how to talk to her. However, her next remark shattered the tranquility. In fact, she's not new to surviving on deserted islands. Her father had put her through tougher challenges, so she's more experienced than others. Right now, Ziyin is asking for water, while Mingyu is searching nearby. Just a couple of sips should fill you up, right? But she knows from experience that seawater is salted, so the more you drink, the more water your body loses. Normally, a person needs about 2 liters of water a day. If you lose 2% of your body water, you'll feel thirsty. Losing 5% causes headaches or dizziness. Less could lead to other problems, even death. They say that. But if this continues, they will surely die of thirst. The ghost path is silent, acting quietly, waiting to knock out the flying fish to stick. And skillfully, she will unbutton his shirt and wrap the fish in it, brushing it into pieces. This way, she gets some blood to use. And after bringing it, she looks a bit messy, to the point that when the ghost path hands him the shirt, when they receive the shirt, they faced a very neat projection. Later, the ghost path said that if flying fish appear, there should be land nearby. But when they looked, all they saw was sea, with no trace of land ever existing. Besides, Tiangu, the top student, explained that using the Pythagorean theorem, their visible range is about 4 kilometers. So, we can only say there is no land within that distance. But this data does not solve the virgin problem. Moments ago, the purple flower scorned the blood. Now she's nearly nigh. The ghost path asks how thirsty he is, hinting at another miracle.
Shut your eyes, open your mouth, and become a sit-up. Why? To eliminate the sense of resistance. It's fine. If it's just baked, it has no tendons. I want more.
The crowd waited on the island until evening without any rescue, so they knew they had to rely on themselves. The next morning, Ziyin woke up first and excitedly spoke to everyone. He noticed a piece of land, but since the small island was drifting with the ocean currents, they realized they had a problem. To reach the other shore, they had to swim there themselves, and there was a tiger shark in the water. It seemed difficult, but it was better than starving. The group thought the distance was short, but it took them 2.5 hours to reach halfway. The shark behind sensed its chance. Thankfully, the thief was prepared. She quickly and decisively removed the phone bar and attached it. Due to the shark's electric sensitivity, the phone battery would deliver a powerful shock to her, which ultimately saved her, but their good fortune is short-lived. Yengu's body had problems. He wasn't suited for physical exertion. After the intense strain, dehydration quickly set in. The thief moved him into the shade, realizing the most urgent task now was to locate a water source before his condition worsened. There are either no suitable plants or no proper tools. Given the island's size, the chance of finding a spring is quite large. As they were about to leave, Tiangu felt dizzy. Guidao wanted him to save some saliva spilled to splash at, but Tiangu had no saliva at that moment. Saliva can be made.
No worries, I gave it to you.
Yet, Guidao and Asuka's journey to find a spring was quite challenging. Lee subdued the chubby cheesy, and after kissing the cute girl, some liquid flowed into his mouth. This was his desperate measure since they hadn't drunk any water since yesterday. To survive on this deserted island, their immediate concern is they need to find drinkable water fast, so the experienced Guidao and Asuka went to search, while the other 2 looked for an empty water pavilion to store water. Ziyin, who was used to luxury, is now very reluctant. Ziyin is unhappy because she thinks Guidao is targeting. Yesterday, she drank wheat juice, and today she has to do this dirty work. But Tiandu, a top student, disagrees, as Guidao is knowledgeable. They survived thanks to Guidao scaling off the shards. Otherwise, they would have been nameless bones in the sea. But Ziyin disagrees. She feels very reliable herself. So looking at the already drained Tiangu Ziyin, she thinks she should be able to do something for her too. She's surprised the track is deeper than she thought. Knowing her limits, she suggests a break, but the track knows time is short, so she won't miss details. When she sees Ye Feng, she infers it should be that there's water nearby because they never stray far from their net. However, after walking for 2.5 minutes, they found no signs of water. Ming Rixiang was already worn out and lying on the ground, while the track, she discovered traces of water flowing beneath her. After the rain, this should be the riverbed, so she planned to dig a bit. But Ming Rixiang seemed to be running out of time. Just as he was about to faint, she heard the track sound.
What? Water.
Ming Rixiang didn't realize how she got the water until she noticed one sock was missing. I realized the sweet water I drank earlier isn't as sweet anymore. Ziyin found something amazing, holding a huge coconut, often thinking about the coconut juice he had in Hawaii. and felt she had to crack it open. The coconut tasted salty, and reality hit her hard. She didn't know how long it had been at sea. After opening it, it tasted sour and refreshing, and Zian felt exhausted for cutting. She felt she was close to her limit, but had one request for Tianbu.
I don't wish to express that you should live on. Cassie.
Suddenly, it started to rain lightly. Zian had forgotten the weight on the leg, but their problems were finally solved. They found water to drink and a source in the tracks, but they needed to plan their next move. They needed to decide what to do next, since humans can't survive while cold, but can last about 3 weeks without food. The tracks suggested building a shelter for warmth, but the others disagreed. They hadn't eaten for a day and night, so they were too weak to build or manage their tracks, and had to find food. Unfortunately, most of what they found was inedible, except for the sea cucumber. To be fair, they decided to use the oldest method to choose their food. After winning, Ziying chose the freshly caught sea cucumber squid, which was delicious. Lin Yuexiang watched her, almost drooling, and secretly vowed to win. But Tianbu had a surprise. After winning, only cicadas in a jar of strange black liquid in egg. She opened her, thinking it was blueberry jam.
It looks just like blueberry jam. It's impressive. But I need to taste it to confirm.
Though only cicadas were left for the tracks, she didn't care. Following the idea of taking the essays, she extracted the best parts. She even mentioned a taste of raw fish slices, and everyone trusts our tracks. It felt their hope of survival were riser, but they were making things too simple. The big sister didn't wear her fat pants this time, trying to shake off a feeling. But on the deserted island, she hadn't solved her basic needs, so she quickly wrapped herself in clothes, preparing to roll up. Everyone had already tried the cooked shellfish, so now raw seafood isn't enough for. As experienced survivors, the ghost thief is ready to take them to roast some animals because she found butterfly-like footprints on the beach. The ghost thief said they were lucky because these footpaws were from a dormouse. But judging by the others' faces, they didn't seem too excited about this fortune. Still, to survive on this island, they had to rely on her, so no one objected. The ghost thief, still a girl, knew being reckless was unwise. So, she decided to use her father's traps for hunting. The other 3 listened to her methods, which, while a bit shaky, have been refined over the last 2 days of survival. They were well aware that to live here, they needed to be ready to hunt animals. Thus, they were all assisting in making traps. Among a heap of trash, the ghost thief found nothing useful. Nearby, while searching, she flipped a board that was started by something sooty.
A surprising find. Though avoiding toxins is key. It can be eaten if you pull it out.
The young man must have, at that moment, hearing she could cover it for food, she planned to catch it and take it home. But the ghost thief reminded her to be cautious of the poison behind the toad's ears. At this time, the toad was nearly breaking through the restricted zone, so she had no time to think about her methods. Even though she felt she lost something, she successfully potted and returned while others planned to collect one from the dugger. At that moment, the ghost thief found some droppings at the cave entrance. Sniffing them, she confirmed the black tea scent meant they were from a rabbit, their hunting target. She agreed the taste of rabbit was far better than squirrel, but seeing the toad before her, she couldn't overcome her mental breath. The thought of covering it himself was too much, so she searched for another excuse, as a reason.
Eh? What's this about? It seems she has gotten away. She should find out soon. Very dumb.
After a tough 2.5 minutes, the ghost path quickly got back on track and started preparing to hunt rabbits, as they still needed to secure their food for the day, so they had to act fast, tying the end of the rope as stare for trick. She then set up the traps that needed to be triggered. Ming Yuexiang, curious about the round circles before her, eagerly asked the ghost path if he could pretend to be a rabbit to test the traps. After setting up one trap, they split up because there were many rabbit holes, needing traps at every exit to be safe. After each trap was set, Ming Yuexiang would test it like a little mouse. After preparing everything, they returned to the shelter to rest until Ziying, who was diligent and skilled, came back. They then realized something was amiss because the traps wouldn't catch rabbits immediately.
What should we do about dinner tonight? This isn't the moment for us to be fighting. That's certainly a
The Aopai girl hurriedly undressed and jumped into the sea, but she miscalculated the depth and almost drowned, causing her to panic about her hasty decision. Actually, after they set up the rabbit traps, they just kept loitering in the shelter until the one responsible for gathering firewood, Zian, returned and found that they had been busy all day without even a single rabbit fur, and they still had no food at all. After Zian spoke, the usually careful ghost thief not only broke into a cold sweat, but also let his guard down on this lonely island. To make up for it, Zian said he would go into the sea to find some of his favorite snails this time.
Try to take a shot. Goodbye. I've never seen you this happy.
Submoj, Ojikok, Jean does walk. Tomorrow, Jean was diving deeper than ever, and the dark visibility made her a bit nervous. Fortunately, she found that the ghost thief was still beside her, not affected at all, while the ghost thief stared blankly at the fishing group ahead. There seemed to be no special snails around. She thought if she brought back some hermit crabs, Zien would reward her with dining utensils. When they returned home, they found Zien excitedly clutching a rat, believing that this iron thing could be used as a pot. What thrilled her even more was the sight of the ghost thief with a large bag full of items. Zien happily embraced it, saying, "You really are the ghost thief." But when she saw what was wrapped inside the clothes, she was stunned. Thanks to the pot Zien found, they avoided hunger. The starfish, called the multipolar sea plate, needs cooking. The ghost thief added dry ingredients for disinfection, so it was safe to eat. After cooking, they could eat by just opening it. Since they didn't find what Zien wanted, the ghost thief gave her the first portion. Zien was surprised by his hand injury. After Mingyue Xiang explained, she learned the ghost thief had cut her hands while trying to get oysters. She meant to get oysters from the rocks, but cut her hands instead. Knowing this, she realized that whether the food was a conch was not that important.
Humans are tasty. It's tastier than sand crabs.
During the night, they planned to check the rabbit traps. When they found that none had been triggered, they felt a bit let down. But just then, a sudden sound of birds chirping in the distance caught their attention, leading everyone to believe that the long-awaited rescue was finally coming. The rescue team finally came. They found out it was actually Zien made a fire and said she saw a boat, but no one found any signs of it after searching for a long time. As a noble, she had been suffering for almost a week without good food or drink. So, feeling low and knowing she had caused a delay, she cried in the valley for a long time. Yu Xiang felt sad for her. They were just teenage girls trying to survive on an island, which was tough. In such moments, even the ghost path was lost. Suddenly, her father's teaching flashed in her mind.
In times of suffering and sadness, life is like a barbecue. That's how one can survive.
While everyone was asleep from crying, she stared at the sea. Then she returned and called Zien. Hearing Guidao call her name, Zien felt scared. She thought Guidao believed she was disrupting morale, so she planned to teach her a lesson. After training, she went to the beach with Guidao, and her fear increased. Only when she dug out the sea bamboo fish did she understand Guidao's purpose. After 2.5 hours, seeing the sea bamboo fish, Zien felt better. Thus, Guidao achieved his goal of leading everyone in a BBQ. After making the leftover fish into a clear fish soup and drinking delicious soup and adding roasted sea pro fish, their confidence in surviving here became even stronger. Moreover, during the evening patrol tomorrow, Xiang unexpectedly discovered a trap that had been triggered, which meant there should be a rabbit. The girl struggled in her first super short skirt during the tug of war. She thought the rope's tension was from a beast, but realized it was a trap that had been triggered. Rixier suddenly remembered the advice. After triggering the trap, she had to break the rabbit's neck to stop it escaping. But standing there, she found she couldn't do it, though it felt impossible. Some reliable Tiangu were nearby, but she had very little reliability. Minyu Xiang watched her struggle, couldn't understand why one person is so unagreed. Tiangu lost confidence after men's swing, kneeling and complaining about the rabbit not dying. Minyu Xiang approached her silently. She picked up the weapon. Being the athletics club president, stronger than Tiangu, she killed the rabbit with one strike. Their first catch without tracks held. She got food back. The ghost knife saw the step she wanted right in front of her, unable to hide his excitement. She said she needed a skinning knife because when an animal dies, its insides will begin to rot, so it must be taken out fast according to the temperature. Be inedible after about an hour, so she kept it in running water for now. She remembered her father's way and taught everyone how to make stone knives, but she didn't expect this fine work to be so hard, causing the other two to fail too, leaving just one. The purple eagle succeeded on the first try. Just as she was about to dissect the rabbit, Tiangu stepped forward. She thought about how she hadn't helped during the capture and didn't want to seem useless, so this time he planned to cut it open. She wanted to stab through the belly, but the ghost knight stopped him right away. She pierced the organs. Other parts would also be inedible. After listening, Tiangu seemed to know what to do, but she didn't expect the purple eagle made a stone knife that was so sharp that it cut his hand. She endured the fear inside while listening to the ghost knight's commands.
About this one. Extract the organs.
It took a full 2.5 hours, but he finally got all the internal organs out. Seeing her pale face, the ghost thief planned to take over the peeling, but Tiangu wanted to keep learning. After 2.5 minutes, she reminded her to tidy up. After the intense scene, they divided the rabbit meat and discussed her methods. With only plant essence and old salt, the ghost thief quickly considered hiring mercenary. After heating stones, the child put them in the pit, covered them with sand, and wrapped the rabbit meat in leaves. After lighting a fire, they just had to wait 50 minutes to eat. They could also use the leftover bones to make soup. After adding all the remaining plant essence, everyone eagerly watched the fire. Time passed quickly, and soon they were drooling at the meat in front of them. After tasting the soup, she found it unexpectedly good, like his family's chicken soup. She wanted to eat the meat ceremoniously, but when she turned around, the ghost thief was almost done.
What is the taste of rabbit? No. What does rabbit taste? I'll try it myself.
This meal was their fullest yet. After eating and drinking well, Asuka lay on the beach, gazing at the stars. A daring idea popped into her head.